Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
cream, the
A
clear.
new edition of Craft Root Sports is going to be starting up here in just a minute. This week, we are drinking Stuffed from 903 Brewers out of Texas. This is a brewery that has been a near and dear favorite to the show. This is a 9.2% ABV beer. Here's what Tavor had to say about this one. Big, fudgy, brownie flavor up front. More subtle notes of cheesecake, vanilla, and graham cracker, rounded out by a blueberry flavor. 3.78 caps on Untapped. This week, we are going to rate this beer on a scale of, on the Saved by the Bell scale, on a scale from Screech to Kelly. Scott, initial tastes of Stuffed on a scale of Screech to Kelly. What do you got?
I'm leaning more towards Kelly at the moment, so somewhere near Zach, but not entirely trash.
Okay, all right, fair. I dig that. Drew, on a scale of Screech to Kelly, what do you got on Stuffed from 903 Brewers?
So far, and again, I'm waiting for the foam to die down a little bit to get a sip of this thing, but the smell already, I'm excited. I'm going Kelly on this one, mostly because Zach ruins everything. You know this.
So you're like top of the line already, Kelly. All right, fantastic.
I'm coming in hot. Now, the description looks delicious, and the smell hasn't disappointed so far. So let's go for the gold.
Right now, I would
I
kind
love gold.
I would agree with Scott that right now it's definitely on the higher side of the scale. I'd go Lisa at this point in my tastings. We'll see if how this one holds up. Be sure to share out the show, everybody. Tune in, help everybody else see the show as well. New Craft Root Sports starting up here in just a second. What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday night. That means it is time for another episode of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. Hanging out with me, as always, is Scott. Scott, how you feeling tonight, man?
Pretty good.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Drew, also in the virtual speakeasy. Drew, how are you feeling today, man?
I'm excited tonight. It's going to be a great show.
You damn right it is, man. We got an awesome show for you guys. I know that right now it is absolutely crazy. There is so much going on in our world. We want to give you guys some type of reprieve. So we're going to talk all kinds of ridiculousness tonight, hopefully make you laugh. So crack a brew, join in. Be sure to share out the show. Comment below. Let us know what you guys are drinking tonight. As we mentioned, we have 903s stuffed in the dugout mugs tonight. And if you missed the beginning, we are rating the beer on the Saved by the Bell scale tonight from Screech to Kelly. So if you also want to chime in below and let us know where your beer rates on that scale from Screech to Kelly, let us know. Awesome show that we're going to talk about tonight. We got some Vijay Singh news, everybody.
We dusted him off, baby.
He heard you. He heard you, man. He had to come back for a minute.
It was like a bat signal. What would the bat signal for Vijay Singh be? Like coming in second place to Tiger? Like what kind of signal?
He was a former number one in the world, man. Vijay was a former number one in the world. Put some respect on his name. He's also really...
I did last week when I said we should dust him off.
That's a good point. That's fair. We are also going to talk about some world records that got broken this past week. Some interesting world records. We're going to break out the tinfoil hats with some conspiracy theories and bringing back a segment that everybody has been clamoring for. One that... old hats are going to know about this one, so we're going to get into that a little bit later as well, so stick around. Also, if there's anything you guys want to chime in with in the chat, please feel free to do so. You can also text the drunk line 440-37-DRUNK. Let us know what's on your mind. Let's get into On Deck. On Deck, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Listen, everybody, we got the hookup for you. All you got to do is go to dugoutmugs.com/craft and get 15% off your entire order. Drink from a bat just like we do here on the show. Father's Day is right around the corner. They got cherry stain bats. They got bats for every MLB team. There's players, signature series. Awesome company. Great product. Highly endorse it. It is one of my favorite things to drink out of, hot or cold beverages. You can drink your coffee out of this in the morning too. They can't see what you're showing at this point, Scott.
I busted out my Chipper Jones one just for Drew.
Oh, damn.
Oh, boy.
That's
Oh,
pretty
boy.
awesome.
Quality.
Dugout mugs.
Inside and everything, though. Look at that. That's impressive.
That's right, baby. Nothing but the best.
He chiseled every little inch of that thing out of there himself, too.
Yeah.
Dugoutmugs.com.
What else is Chipper doing these days? Come on, Scott. He's got plenty of time.
Calling out players for their horrible takes.
How dare
In
you
his
players want to make money?
I know. I'm retired.
Ridiculous.
I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be able to make money, though.
My pension's secure.
Dugoutmugs.com/craft. 15% off your entire order. All right, Scott, why don't you go ahead and lead us off here for On Deck this week?
All right, so we were already talking a little baseball, and, well, Mike mentioned it there. There's been a lot going on in the world this week. A lot of rioting, a lot of looting, a lot of stuff that we're not going to get into the details of or anything, but this story, hilarious. In Milwaukee, there's reportedly a guy that broke into Miller Park, and it had nothing to do with the rioting. He went in there, desecrated on the field, did some damage, and it had nothing to do with rioting.
Desecrated on the field?
Yes. They found stuff all over the field. They said that they were going to be able to fix it. I don't even know how you get into a park that's locked, because at this point of the year, I mean, there's nobody in Miller Park, so it's not like you can just kind of sneak in. These major league ballparks, apparently nobody's bothering to keep an eye on them during this whole, not having a season. But dude just goes in there, has nothing to do with the riots. It's not tied to it. It's not related, not looting anything. Just went in, destroyed the field, which is really weird considering if you're in Milwaukee, you're probably a Brewers fan. So I don't really understand why you would go into the home ballpark and start destroying the field. They did arrest him, but there's still an investigation ongoing. They're trying to figure out why he did this, but that was the best part, that they immediately said, yeah, as far as we can tell, this had nothing to do with the riots. Dude just broke into the stadium, started destroying the field.
So I gotta be honest, man, when you said he desecrated the field, I thought you meant to say he defecated on the field, and you messed it up.
No, he didn't take any dumps.
I thought you were trying to allude that he did that and more, right?
No,
like he did more than just that, but no, it was different, huh?
No. He just somehow destroyed the field. They didn't say what he did. So I don't know if he just got out there and just, found a rake in the dugout and just decided, I'm going to tear up the field. But he did it the field.
Do you think he thought he was golfing and he was trying to, caddy his own sand trap and just got carried away?
I think it was if it's Milwaukee, I'm guessing that he's a Packers fan. He's probably just really upset that they drafted a quarterback.
Is there
They're
any,
like, and he's black, son of a bitch.
Is there any confirmation that this may or may not be those dudes? Was it in Tennessee or Auburn where they broke into the field and stole like a bunch of Mick Ultra or some other shitty
that's what
beer?
I was
Oh,
thinking. I
Tennessee,
was like,
yeah.
Is somebody trying to get in here and get beer? Are they trying to, duplicate a crime? No idea.
No
Like I said, they're
copycat.
doing an investigation, and dude destroyed the field, but they said it's nothing that they can't repair before whenever they start, which at the rate we're going, it's going to be never. So they got plenty of time to get ready for next year's opening day. But yeah, dude randomly breaks in, hits up the field, ends up getting busted.
He may be the stealthy smart one in this, right? Like, if there is a time and place that you're not going to get thrown in jail for that, it's now, right? Between all the COVID going around in the prisons and jails, and between, the unfortunate situations where they're throwing people in for peacefully protesting, like, shit's full and they're not trying to put anyone away. So, like, if you're going to try to get away with like a low level crime, like, now would be the time to do it. Not that I'm advocating that, but it's also the Brewers. So, like, they kind of deserve it, because
maybe he
do
just
better,
got,
man.
maybe he
Aren't they still paying Ryan Braun? Like, that in and of itself gives me license to desecrate their field. And
Well, that's what I'm
defecate.
saying. It's a really weird thing. You assume that he's a fan, so I don't understand why you go in like stealing beer or going in and I went in the clubhouse and boosted a bunch of things that I found. That makes total sense. But if you're a fan, why would you be destroying? Your
No, here's
home
what
club's
here's what he wanted to do. I think he probably broke in just in the sole hopes of being able to go down the slide that they have in center field, and then got sidetracked,
Oh.
got drunk, and ended up falling over on the field and messing things up. But the slide had to be the reason why he got in. He
No,
was
no,
like, you know what, I'm getting in
it-
there, I'm going down that slide.
Is it a regular slide or a water
No,
slide?
it's a regular slide, but it's twisty.
Okay.
It's a
Because
it's
I was
got
gonna
some
say
twists.
if it's a water slide and there's no water and he went down without water like Frank and Always Sunny, he was probably trying to seek revenge for the pain he enacted upon himself. Because
I went in, I started blasting.
left and right.
By the way, Matt Barr chiming in saying that he is drinking Bell's Amber tonight, and he
Oh,
says
nice
that
choice,
comes
Matt.
in at Jesse on caffeine pills. Damn. On a scale of Screech to Kelly, where does Jesse on caffeine pills rank? Because I feel like that's ahead of Kelly. That's way above Kelly.
Who's Jesse?
What?
She's the curly-haired one, right?
Yeah, the one from Showgirls.
Scott, I got a Wikipedia link. I'll share it to you real quick.
Thank you, because we've been over this. I never watched that show.
So that's why you were just like, oh, I'm gonna go Kelly because that's the name that's in our doc.
No, I know who Kelly Krapowski and Screech are, and then Zach, but that's
No,
it.
because it's
After
Kelly
that, I'm going-
Kapowski. There's not a second R, you idiot.
See, there you go. It's too white for me.
Apparently, I can't send you a screen cap in the chat, so you'll just have to sit there and mystery, I guess.
Next
Robert,
week we'll do some black.
Topanga,
show, and
how-
we'll go from
yes,
there
my
to there.
man. We'll do that next week, though. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
gonna
do-
work Boy Meets World in the
we'll
mix
do a
at some
Boy Meets
point.
World scale at some point.
No, we'll do from Tommy not having no job to Pam. Name that show. Yeah, you white motherfuckers.
I have no idea what
The
you're
Shield.
talking about.
Yeah, you white
Pam.
bastards.
Pam. Okay, whatever. Moving on.
Joe's back.
Moving on. Drew, you are on deck. What do you got for us this week?
All right, so this one's a little short in the sense of like what we're actually going to talk about, but I don't know if you guys heard that this week the XFL is going up for bid. So it came out this week that the investment bank that apparently holds the rights to the XFL, and it's not actually Vince, after declaring bankruptcy, they're going to be putting it on the market in August. And rumors are there are dozens of bidders with the intent of having them come back for a 2021 season. Apparently, Oliver Luck is suing Vince right now for breach of contract.
Yeah.
The league's former president is also doing things to try to get the stadium licenses back. So things are actively happening to try to bring the XFL back, and they're opening it up for bid to find a new owner, to find a new home, to get us back the football in spring that we all want, need, and deserve, frankly. So
But without
come on,
Vince,
boys,
is
let's
it the
do it.
XFL?
That's a good point.
I mean, you rebrand it, fine,
I-
but I mean, I really can't call it the XFL if it doesn't have Vince.
It would have to
sure,
be
it
the
can
triple
It can be the
XFL.
extra football league.
Ooh, triple XL, I like that. Maybe
Triple
Vin
XFL.
Diesel can take over.
Ooh, triple XL Chalupa FL. I love me some XXL Chalupas.
Or maybe porn stars could pool their money together and we get the triple XL that way.
Oh,
So here's-
whoa.
Here's where
Whoa.
I'm going, man. Like how many beer cans we have to take to Michigan to get a refund back to pool our money together to put it in.
That's what Robert Taylor beating you to it on the chat, saying let's all pitch in.
Let's do it, man. Go fund.
I have a
We
feeling
could
if,
go from owners of nothing to owners of an entire league. I'm in.
That feels very
We
realistic.
can't make payroll after 1 week and they shut us down.
We'd still be doing better than AAF or whatever the hell that. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. AFL, LFAO, I don't know. LMAFO, LFMA, FMLA,
LFO?
FMLA. That was totally it.
LFO, Summer Girls, right?
Oh, great.
that-
song.
Ooh, of course you know that, you white.
Why does
Never mind.
Chinese food make him sick though? Like, what kind of fool doesn't eat Chinese
Wait,
food?
somebody posted that video recently because Memorial Day, they said, is the official start of summer, and they posted that video. I haven't listened to that song in so long, but when you go back and like actually try to listen to the words of that song,
Oh,
there
it's
it is
insanity.
such a train wreck. How does anybody greenlight that song ever?
There was an article about the lyrics to that song that I read like a few years back, and I can't remember where it was, probably Deadspin or something like that, where they said basically the same thing, where it's like, did anybody listen to this song or did it just get played a bunch? Because the lyrics make no sense.
Dude, at one point he talks about Michael Keaton. He just drops in Larry Bird's jersey number at some point. Like it makes absolutely no sense. Also, they jacked a line from the Beastie Boys. I got issues with that Summer Girl song from LFO. Anyways, back to Drew's point.
Yeah, let's buy the XFL, boys.
Did I see correctly that they're talking about potentially just doing it as like a tournament? Like they're not even looking at a full season?
They kind of alluded to that. I think that was more along the lines of like if you're trying to throw it together in the spring and trying to cut costs a little bit coming in. I think that's what they were going for. But who cares? The same point, man. If they just bring that thing back and don't change anything, give me 2 games, 3 games, whatever. I'll take it.
I think the problem that they're going to have, and that's why you have to have like a behemoth like Disney or Fox Sports buy that, because especially with the questions around fans being in stands, and we don't know how long this is going to go on, to bring that back and under the assumption that you may not be able to sell tickets to it, that's a scary investment right there. I can't imagine anybody taking that risk, you know?
That's true. What is the XFL without the beer snake?
Exactly. What are we doing? We're just watching like guys who couldn't hack it in the NFL all because college football isn't on.
I just want to get out there one time and go, "This is the XFL," and then I'll be done.
Also,
I'm out after that. I'm pulling my money after that.
You hit them with that, then you're like, by the way, I'm selling the league. We're bankrupt. See ya.
Right. Well, and I also bring back all the stuff that made the XFL great the first time. So they're running to center field, crash into each other to get the ball.
Center field.
The nicknames are coming back. All the stuff that I love. The black and red ball. Like, screw this new, watered down, trying to be legit XFL. I want the one that was just a train wreck.
You want the one that would not fly in 2020 because of political correctness. Like focus on the cheerleaders.
But hey, we've got to point out that league made it a full season. The XFL and the AFL.
That's
a good
point. Neither of them made it a full season.
You know what's more impressive than that, though, is the fact that
we
still know who He Hate Me is.
Rod Smart, baby.
Oh, all right, good.
I never forgot.
Yeah, I knew Rod
we
Smart.
Still know who
I didn't know Martin
is.
earlier, but I know who Rod Smart is.
You racist bastard.
Boys, throw your pennies in. We're gonna start taking collections, passing the tray around, and we're gonna throw a bid in there, if for no other reason than to get a seat at the auction table.
I love it. Greg says he's interested. Also, shout out to Javi joining in the show. Should he's drinking some wine tonight, we'll allow it.
Banned.
Let's see. Matt Barr pointing out that they played Summer Girls at work, and it's awful. And Greg slamming me, saying that I would like girls that wear Abercrombie & Fitch.
Hey, back in the day, that stuff was on point, man.
Man, back in the day, oof.
Yeah.
Kelly
They're the girls that
Kapowski.
looked classy, but you knew what was up. You knew a thing
Please
or two.
please play the white drop, please.
Nope, we're saving that for later. All right, moving on. Last story. Here it is. Your Vijay Singh update of the week. This is hilarious.
Ask and you shall receive, baby.
Yes, Scott just mentions dusting him off last week. And
who should we dust off this week to bring back?
I don't know, but I was going to ask you that. We need to find somebody to dust off that.
It's just somebody who's real random. Go ahead and tell the story, and I'll.
All right, you guys think about it. So here's what happened. So apparently, Vijay Singh had said that he was going to play in the Corn Ferry Tour in June. If you don't know what that is,
what the hell is that? I saw that as like, wait, Corn like the band?
It's spelled like Corn like the band. You're right. But this is the developmental tour. It used to be the Web.com tour. Now it's the Corn Ferry Tour. So this is all guys trying to make it into the PGA. So the top 25 finishers at the end of the year get their tour card and they get to go into the tour. Well, he got met by a ton of backlash because he said he was going to play in this tour all throughout June to kind of prep for the rest of the season since there is no PGA events going on, and got called out for it. Corn Ferry Tour players called him things like, quote, a piece of trash, and one went so far as to say that Vijay Singh is a turd for doing this, saying that he's taking points and money away from someone trying to get on the tour, someone who could really use it.
On him.
Apparently so. I mean, he could have played the first 3 rounds and just sat out the 4th round, right? Like, come on, man.
Also, that's such a golf diss. This guy is a
turd.
What a turd.
Vijay Singh is a former #1 golfer in the world, and this guy trying to get onto the tour called him a turd because he wanted to come warm up. It's also in the rules for this developmental league that a PGA player can come down and play if they're not eligible to play in the tournament that weekend on the regular tour. So it wasn't like Vijay was breaking any rules in this, but this dude was not happy about it. But
maybe they did him a favor, because what if VJ goes down to play with these guys and gets his ass handed to him?
Yeah.
Yes, Matt Barr said Jay Buhner. That's a great one.
I would love to see Jay Buhner dust it off. What's he doing lately?
Whoa. What's he dusting off first? Calm down.
Just dust off Jay Buhner. Just
okay,
dust him off. You know, the bit that we were just talking about.
No, I know, but you said dust it off, and it's like, whoa, slow down.
I thought I said him. Are you sure about
No,
that?
you
I
said
think you
it.
heard it.
Play it back.
I got nothing.
I love that there's like golfers furious that Vijay Singh was trying to play. Like, Vijay Singh is 50-some years old, and these guys were pissed off about it, clearly threatened by Vijay Singh. Like, none of these young bucks think they could beat Vijay Singh.
I like that they're like, oh, well, you're taking food out of somebody else's mouth.
Right. All right.
They ain't need anyways down there. Come on, they're on the corn tour.
The Corn Ferry Tour. This has been On Deck, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Again, the link, dugoutmugs.com/craft. Get 15% off your entire order. Use the promo code VJ Singh at checkout. I'm just kidding. There's a promo code. Dugoutmugs.com/craft. 15% off your order. All right, fellas. I wanted to talk a new segment here called Isn't That Something? I had a sweet drop lined up for this one from the Farting Preacher. It did not download in time, so I wasn't able to play it for this segment. But this is where we're going to talk about some world records that got broken this week, because there were some doozies that got broken. First up, a guy recorded the world record for fastest time running the mile while wearing jeans. He finished it in 4 minutes, 6.25 seconds, beating the previous record by 5 seconds.
Why is that a record?
I don't know. That is, it's the strangest thing. Like
Now, is it just jeans, or what else qualifies?
as long as you're wearing jeans, you could be shirtless. You could have a tank top on. You could whatever. You just have to be in blue jeans.
Anything else goes, but you have to be wearing jeans.
Have to be wearing jeans in order to.
Are they full jeans? Are these jeans shorts?
Got to be
Like, what are we
full
talking?
jeans. Full jeans. But
Full
what?
Skinny jeans?
Well,
baggy jeans?
there
cargo
was
jeans?
no. There was.
boot cut.
I
Seems
wanted
like the right cut for me.
I wanted to see this dude run it in like Junko jeans, like just the big, huge, wide leg jeans. That would be the only way this would be impressive to me.
Well, because my first thought about all this is,
Thank
so
you,
the dude
Matt
also
Barr.
followed up with another record where he broke the world record for most Vaseline on one's body. Because I hear jeans and running a mile, and all I can think is he's got to be chafed out his ass, man. Oh,
There's and there's
hurt.
are they?
I hope it's some Affliction jeans. They're nice bedazzled.
oh yeah.
Get a
little
nice,
sparkle,
real
sparkle.
sparkly run while you're going. That's what I need. Just Affliction jeans. Like, is that guy running in bedazzled jeans? And he just set a world record.
Also, shitty, no one wants to see you in no jorts. So thanks for offering, though.
Also, what if these were like the jeans that, or the yoga pants that look like jeans? Like, how do we know that this dude was really wearing jeans and not something that just appeared to be jeans? I feel like it has to be denim in order for this to be somewhat of a.
Well, then I'm just wearing a jean jacket. Nothing else. Running in a jean jacket.
I
you
would pay
said
money.
denim.
I would pay money just to see that. Period. Don't even break no record, Scott. I just want to see that. Give me 400 meters of that. I'm in.
I want to do it in the. Have you guys seen the jean bathing suits? Like they're just
What?
like, yes, they make dude jean bathing suits that are just
For dudes?
Yes, look it up if you've never seen it before. They look like boxer briefs, but they're denim. They're jeans. It looks like
Man, send that shit back to Europe.
it
Come
looks
on.
like it looks
the
like
hell
grade
outta here
school
with that.
girls when they would cut their jeans and there was just like the pockets hanging out below where the jeans were cut. It looks like that, but for dudes.
Chris America making a good point.
No
That could be on the dartboard of doom whenever sports resume. Somebody wearing bedazzled or Jinko jeans on the show.
Dude, we owe
because then we could
so
wrap
many
them off for
punishments.
charity afterwards.
My ball sweat is in these.
Yeah.
Start the bidding at 25 cents.
We owe so many punishments. I still have to do the Instagram model punishment. Like stuff
Oh,
from
God, I
the
don't even
first.
remember.
That would be a
punishments
great
I have
Instagram
left.
model punishment right there, though.
That would be. I could just rock those. Ugh. But, I mean, there's so many punishments that we owe. I can't even keep track of all of them. I have to go back and listen to shows to figure out what we still owe punishments on.
Oh God, and no one wants to do that.
I know. Ugh. It's bad enough doing
Sounds
this
terrible.
live. Goodness gracious. All right. Another world record that was set this week. By the way, congratulations, Johnny Gregorick, for the fastest blue jeans mile in history.
Oh yeah, dude's like an Olympic runner too, by the way.
Right,
This
he's a
ain't just some
legit-
schmuck doing it.
Yeah, he's a legit runner. I mean, 4 minutes and 6.25 seconds in the mile
That's
is
ridiculous.
very fast. And then you tack on the fact that he was rocking some denim. That's an impressive feat.
Are there photos in the article? I'm curious now.
I really did. I just sort of looked at the headlines.
Read the title, carried on.
Right. I was like, yep, this fits the segment. Moving
That's
on.
the quality reporting we do here.
You asking me if I prep for this show? Come on, Drew.
It was clickbait. It
right.
never even happened.
Fake news. All right, this one did happen. There's a couple in Idaho that broke the world record for the total number of T-shirts put on in 1 minute by a team of two. 32 T-shirts. That's a real world record that you can set, and this couple did it, beat the previous record of 31. They put on 32 T-shirts. Well, he put on 32 T-shirts in 1 minute. She basically stood behind him and helped him like pull down the back so to speed things up. Weirdest world record that I've ever heard of.
Now, here,
Bizarre.
I'll make a reference that you'll understand. I guess that means that they didn't beat Joey Tribbiani for doing it by himself, because he was a solo team on that one, and this was a two-man team. So the solo record is still out there to be had, but you got to beat Joey.
That's a fair point. And yes, thank you for dropping a reference that I do get with the Joey.
I knew your white ass would.
Dude, what is going on? Like, do you remember being a kid and getting the Guinness Book of World Records book out of the library and like looking through that and being like, man, there's some cool world records. Like, this guy's got the longest nails and he looks like a freak and I love it. And then there's like, this guy's got the longest beard. Now it's the most T-shirts put on by a couple in 1 minute. That's a legit world record you can set.
Yeah, it always seemed like when we were kids, it was a combination of like Ripley's Believe It or Not and world
Yes.
records. It was always something completely bizarre that you're like, man, that guy's dedicated, or that would take a while. And yeah, you're right. Now it's seriously, it's like guy who wears the most shirts on a Tuesday in June. You got it. Like, what the hell is that?
Oh, so like baseball stats.
Yeah, no, it really is the splits. The splits are nuts.
By the way, just a couple other world records that you could set if you guys are looking to, like, I feel like this is what I got out of all of this, is that there are world records that we could set. If we really tried, we could potentially set a world record.
No, dude, it's too much damn work.
Is it though?
Yeah, you got to like do paperwork and stuff. You got to
Yeah,
have
you do
someone
have to
there
do
to like
that.
validate it. I've looked into this. It's just way too much damn work.
Well, there's one dude who has the world record for the world's longest fart. That's a real world record that was set. He farted for 2 minutes and 42
Who's
seconds straight.
timing that?
I don't know.
Did he?
And how do
has
you
he-
fart for
has
2
he
minutes
been to
without
the
dying?
doctor? I'm so scared for him. He must have just opened up his colon and just like kept swallowing air constantly.
Wait, there is a debate, and Scott, I don't appreciate that you replied to this comment from the Craft Root Sports account. Chris
boy,
America
what's
wants to
popping
know
off?
which host of this show would most likely beat the world record for most hot dogs in your mouth at once.
They replied as Craft Root Sports. That must be Joe. Joe's hiding out on us. Wow.
There is a vote for
I
Drew.
somehow missed this one. I would
There's
crush that.
There's a vote for Drew. There's a vote for me. And surprisingly enough, I just Googled it. The man who has this world record is named Drew. Drew Blood has the world record. He fit 14 hot dogs in his mouth at once.
That way, is that whole hot dog?
Oh my God.
Fit in the tip
Just-
in? Is it just the tip?
Is that a porn name?
Do I also get to use mustard?
Wait, this says in this
Dude's name is Drew Blood.
Drew
That's not
Blood.
a real name.
this says
He
warning.
does work.
This record can be dangerous. Please do not attempt this record unless you are above the age of 18 and trained as a professional stunt performer.
Stunt performer. Man, I've been eating wieners all my life. I ain't no training. Been training for this
Pause.
for years.
Speaking of eating wieners, real serious conversation here. It came up this weekend, and I didn't have an answer. What the hell is going to happen with the hot dog eating contest in a month?
Oh God.
I think they can have the contest, but there won't be people there.
Okay,
They can
but
easily
they're
socially distance those guys, right? That
Well, I
can't
was
be
going to say
hard.
they're going to have
Right.
to separate them a little bit more than they have been
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those guys are right up on each other.
Right. Well, you figure they have like that huge stage where they walk across and they're waving. You can separate people out on the stage, but there won't
Do
be
they have
anybody
to wear
there.
masks while eating the hot dogs?
I would
though?
hope so. That would make it way more fun.
What if they wear masks and jeans?
Oh, also, we shouldn't go to that well anymore because dude was raising money for charity in memory of his brother who died early because of an illness. Yeah, I looked it up.
The
I may have watched
jeans?
the
The
Instagram
jeans or
video
the
for a
hot
minute while
dogs?
you were yamming about shit. So, dude wore skinny jeans that were
Oh.
boot cut, by the way.
Skinny jeans that were boot
I
cut.
have
All right.
confirmed that.
Good
Skinnies are boot
to
cut.
good to know. Also, thank you for bringing down the show. Let's bring it back up. Sarah wants to
Hey,
know.
I'm just saying, he raised some money, $24,000 for charity. Ain't a bad thing. I still want to ask. I want to tease out Sarah's question here. How does
Yes.
one know that you're going for the world record fart beforehand?
I feel like that's one that you try to save up as much as
Can
possible.
you practice for that?
Do you think it was wet?
Oh, I mean, 2
After
minutes.
2 minutes, I don't know how you don't just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Chris,
That's like me when we do those core workouts downstairs and they're like, all right, and now sumo squat. Boom.
Chris also Chris America pointing out the description for the warning for going for the hot dog record. It's one way to say fluffer without saying fluffer. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsor, Morning Recovery, More Labs. Look them up, everybody. If you're boozing it up like we are, get yourself some Morning Recovery. Get yourself a life hack pack. You can sleep easier, you can focus better, and you can recover after drinking. 20% off your order at morelabs.com just by using the code SPORTS. They are miracle drugs. We swear by them here on the show. Drew has converted so many people on his own. Even before he joined the show, he was like our salesman for this product.
We
I'm
had
just
him
trying to
out
help
there
people out,
slanging.
man. I'm just trying to help people out, you know? No one likes a hangover.
Hey, yo, hey, I got what you need. I got that more labs.
I did have to switch to the trench coat now because they have such a wide product offering that I need more pockets.
Trench coat and jeans, selling more labs.
Or duster in jeans. I think that's the way to go. Duster.
Morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS for 20% off your entire order. All right,
Dude,
fellas.
Shitty makes a good point. He said that dude crushed some White Castle and Skyline and then called Guinness immediately. That'd be about the only way that could happen. for
That's a
me.
good point. Yeah.
So what are you going with there then? So you're going crave case, obviously, right? But then like what are you doing? 5-way? Are you crushing conies? Maybe a Cholito thrown in? You don't want to get too much cheese though, because that would kind of back you up unless you want to create yourself a plug and back you up. So that once you blow that plug, then it's just like a slow burn.
What do you think it sounded like? Do you think it was one of those ones that just asks a question at the end? Like after
feel like
2
it
minutes
had
and
to.
49
Like, it
seconds,
couldn't be
it just
SVD,
turns up at
you
the
know?
end?
What if it was silent and they're like, no, I'm farting, believe me. And it's just going for 2 minutes.
Oh no, they were for sure staring up this dude's anus. Like there was a close up on that guy's rectum.
I just don't understand how that's a world record.
All right.
Anything that can be measured can be, achieved, right?
I guess.
Yeah, if a little poop comes out, is that a DQ?
All right, moving on. Let's talk
little
some
dropping.
conspiracy theories.
Moving on. We really should have made Joe record that.
Getting too weird for me in here. Scott, I'm going to have you lead this off with a
Too
conspiracy
much butt
theory.
stuff for Mike.
Much too much butt stuff. A conspiracy theory that was floated this week about the MLB. So, Scott, why don't you go ahead and break down this conspiracy theory for us?
Well, specifically, Jeff Passan of ESPN is making the rounds, and the theory that's going on, which is ironic because I had this conversation with one of my friends about a month ago, is that there's a certain group of people that don't actually want Major League Baseball to have a season this year. And it's not just the MLB haters, which there are a ton of.
Drew.
But it's actually the people that run the show. So there's this group of owners that from almost the get-go of COVID and everything having to be canceled, we're immediately crying about, oh, this is going to cost us so much and we can't play these games because revenue, and we can't afford to not have players or fans in the stands, and oh, woe is us. Even during the best of times, we just don't make any money and we're losing money hand over fist. So this is so awful. Well, as time has gone on and baseball has had an opportunity here to have all eyeballs on them, and as per usual, baseball has had the chance to elevate its profile, and instead they've dragged their feet. It is now June 3rd. They still have no idea what's going to happen. And then just this afternoon, the players had counter proposed something to the owners, and the owners rejected it within minutes. So the theory goes that this group of owners is basically holding any type of season back from actually happening, that despite what they're presenting, like they're presenting offers to the players that they know that they'll never accept because they don't actually want the season to happen because it'll cost more money for them and they'll lose money. And I 100% believe that that's the case, because the proposals from the owners have been bogus. They've obviously been deals that it's like, well, why would the players want to accept that? And they've shot them down immediately. So I'm fully on board with this as a conspiracy theory. And I don't even think that it's like a small group of owners. I think we're talking at least a third of the league that just doesn't want the season to happen. And they're going to it's going to, get to a point where they look up and they're just going to be like, well, there's no way we can have this season. Bummer.
Drew, do you agree that this is a true conspiracy theory, that this is actually happening?
I struggle to agree as a conspiracy theory because I think there's just too much fact to categorize it as that, right?
See, and Shitty took exactly what I was going to mention. I was like, apparently they got Mike Brown in here to vote, because that was my first thought. Was like, right. Mike Brown was like, hey, y'all trying to stop that from happening? Because I can come in and give you my vote.
Well, because don't they still get a bunch of the TV revenue even if not a single game is played?
I think so.
But it's like a big pool, and then you've got like all those regional TV deals, and the smaller market teams don't make nearly what the bigger market teams. So there was this argument.
But what I'm saying is they're still making money though. Like the owners are still going to make money. Players, they need to play games to get checks.
And
right?
that's where this comes into play, because the owners, if there is no season, the owners will still make money.
That's my point. That's why it's not a conspiracy theory, it's just fact.
Right. If there are games played, they may lose money or not make as much money because they have to pay players in order to...
Wait a minute. Who are the owners?
OWGs. Those white guys.
OWGs. Yeah. So they're looking at that bottom line. So they 100% don't want this thing to happen. They don't want any part of this. Because they're looking at the bottom line, like, look, if we throw a single pitch, we're going to end up in the red. So pass.
Also,
back again next year.
And we said it when they first floated their idea to the players, where we were like, this seems like they're trying to come off as the good guys of like, look, we're trying to make this work. These greedy players aren't taking this offer, and we're trying to do it.
Well, on top of that, I mean, this was going.
They've been talking to Roger Goodell about Rooney Rules, is what it is. Then that's the same damn thing as they did with the draft. Like, hey, hire a minority coach, and we'll bump you up in the draft. See,
and this was already heading towards a labor agreement where they were going to like fight it out, and it was there was already talks that there might be, some type of shutdown in baseball, regardless of COVID. So it's mighty convenient that in the last year of this collective deal, that, oh, there's a negotiation coming up, and they're like, well, it just might not happen, where they can just sweep all this under the rug and then come to the table and be like, oh, well, and again, the owners will use this against the players 100%. They'll be like, well, we gave them all these deals and they just told us no, so they didn't really want to play for you guys. And fans, because they're stupid, will eat it up.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
I don't even think it's fans. I think the players are going to have to make concessions, because the other part is the minor leagues are hurting right now. Like, I saw a report earlier this week that basically in the last 7 days, 1,000 minor league players are now unemployed.
Oh yeah, they're not
But the teams
hurting.
folding
They
left
are
and right.
gutted. That the minor leagues are gutted right now is what it is.
And so I think it's a situation too where the Players Association may even give up something for the greater good. Because again, like just kind of what the NFL contract or CBA talks, it's a situation where like, look, you can have the guy, and yes, shitty, the OWG started COVID-19. Obviously, that's what we're saying.
Yes, they did, because Bill Gates is an OWG, and he's getting these 5G towers all over to spread COVID and then implant us with chips. Yes.
Exactly. And then we're all going to have cancer, but it's okay because then the COVID's going to get us first.
More conspiracy
theories. The vaccine, but then that gives you autism. So, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Wait, I want to hear more about this vaccine.
Is
that a thing?
Yeah. Well, no. So they actually have a vaccine for COVID, but they can't figure out how to make it cause autism yet. So that's why I said out. So
No. I mean, I know what a vaccine is, but what's a vaccinine?
Vaccinine?
Vaccinine? Oh, that's next level vaccine. So it's when you take it's when you take Doreen and cross her with a vaccine, so you get that like nice good feels about it.
I thought it was vaccinated Vaseline. So it was vaccinine.
Oh no, that's only if you're running in jeans.
You just rub it on the inside of your thighs. You're good to go.
Also,
I got that vaccinine on me.
I don't know if you boys noticed this, and this might explain the last 90 seconds, but this shit's 9.2%.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's
I did not know that, but I was wondering.
It's
a creeper.
Sneaky 9.2. It's very sneaky. I can feel my face getting red. Before I lose all track, let's do our second conspiracy theory that we have for this week. So this one relates to a different league. This is the NBA. Now, you guys may have seen that the NBA did reveal their proposal for coming back. They are going to have a 22-team kind of playoff. They're basically going to come back and play 8 regular season games with 22 teams, 1 additional team from the East, and then there's going to be 3, 4, 5 additional teams from the West. Very weird way to structure this, but essentially they're going to play 8 games. At the end of those 8 games, if the number 9 seed is more than 4 games back from the number 8 seed, then the number 8 seed makes the playoffs. If they are less than 4 games back, then number 8 and number 9 will have a 1-game play-in to determine who moves on to the playoffs. So where does the conspiracy theory fall in? Brian Windhorst announced earlier this week, he was talking about the NBA proposals that were being thrown around, and he said that the NBA is doing everything they can to give Zion a chance to make the playoffs. That is their bread and butter. They want Zion in the playoffs because they missed out on all the time with his injury, and then he came back and he was lighting it up, and they know that if Zion is in the playoffs, it means more money for them. So they wanted to structure this, whatever option they ended up going with, they wanted to structure it in a way where Zion had the chance to get into the playoffs. So when you look at the teams that are included in this, you have the top 8 in each conference. The ones that are brought in as extras in the West are Portland, New Orleans, Sacramento, San Antonio, and I believe Phoenix as well.
Man, that's some dog trash.
It's the only way the Kings are making the playoffs, I'll tell you that.
Right?
Much.
That's what I'm saying right there.
Well,
On
here's
COVID.
Here's what's interesting.
Their stadium looks great empty, though, Scott. I'll say that.
At first,
You like this?
Yeah, you're looking on point, man. I'm impressed that there's no echo, though, in your audio. I'm well done, my friend.
I fixed my audio this week.
Scott learned how to turn on the microphone. It's a fantastic week for all of us. But you did that, and I forgot to record. So it's win some, lose some, I guess.
You're not recording. Cool.
Dude,
cool,
come on, man. You're supposed to save this stuff for Craft Food Sports After Dark and make people pay for it. Stop giving away the secrets, Mike.
All right, hang on. Let me get into this conspiracy theory. So on the surface, it looks like they bring in these teams who are close. In the Western Conference, the Grizzlies, are sitting at 32 and 33. The Suns are 26 and 39. So they're only like 6 games back from the Grizzlies. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's why. And the Pelicans are only 3.5 games back. But there's the kicker. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, snaps. This is 100% true. They are doing this to get Zion in. Why would they set that number at 4? If the 9 seed is 4 games back from the 8 seed, then the 9 seed is eliminated. But if they're less than 4 games back, there's a play-in game where the 9 seed could overthrow the 8 seed and get into the playoffs. The Pelicans are 3.5 games back out of that 8 seed position. This is 100%. The NBA is trying to shoehorn Zion Williamson into the playoffs. Yes or no?
Yes. I mean, it's the NBA where conspiracies happen. I mean, it's like, does any sport have any more alleged conspiracies over its entire existence than the NBA? I mean, you've got the MJ thing, you've got the draft lottery,
frozen envelopes,
frozen draft, card, all that stuff. Like the NBA sets themselves up for this. This is 100% for sure what they're doing.
Freezer meat. Oh wait, shit, wrong segment. My bad.
You don't think that's true?
I see where you're going with this, Mike. I know you tried really hard. You said a lot of numbers and broke stuff down. There's a part of me that's like, great, cool. Who cares? I don't think any of these leagues are going to be strapped for ratings because people are going to be so excited to see live sports again. It's going to be weird without fans, but we get our sports teams playing meaningful games. They're going to tune in. And there is a point too where it's like, yeah, they had to draw the line somewhere. And so kind of like they did with the NHL, the way the Red Wings got screwed because they were right on the cusp of a playoff berth. That's a joke, kids. It's not even close. They were,
I was going to say
50% points back. But
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. It's
Oh,
okay.
I knew. I was educated.
I know.
Last
Well, because
week.
Scott, yeah, you did that hockey last week, and it was amazing. Best segment of the year, hands down. Also, sidebar, we should do our own version, the Dundies, but like make them the Brewies or something. Like that would be a good show.
Good segment.
Anyways,
notating.
Yeah. Brainstorming out of there. But no, like I think there's a point of it. Yeah, you're probably right that they chose the 4 games to try to like give Zion and them a nudge in. But for the most part, I think things were set and they're not super worried about the ratings. And they're just kind of like, we got to draw this line somewhere where it makes sense.
No, that's
we can get
fine.
Zion in, sure.
Drawing the line is fine at where they drew it at with, the Suns being like 6 games back and you're letting them play 8 games. I'm fine with that because everybody else that is left off is more than 8 games back from the 8 spot. So I understand why you would do that. But why put in that play-in game for the 8 and 9 seed unless you're trying to get Zion in? That's the only thing.
I thought you said, oh no, it's if 9 is within 4 games of 8.
Right, then 8 and 9 play a play-in game. Yes.
I don't know, dude.
That's where
so the East is trash. So this only comes into play in the West, and the West has some talent that would draw eyes. So they probably did it for that reason. The other aspect of it too is how many games were left in the actual regular season when it was all put on pause. I want to say it was like 20 something.
Something like
maybe.
That. Joe, how many games were left? Great drop in, Joe. I don't know. We have no idea.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Look,
So
all I know is I just don't want the Lakers to win anything of note. So if it means no games have to be played or they play 1 game and they lose, whatever amount of games it takes to make sure that the Lakers don't win a title, I don't care. Like whatever format it comes back in, it'll just be like, oh, well, it's the Lakers in the finals. Second wave hit, so we're done.
That's fair. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that one, Scott. I am fully in this is a conspiracy theory. And the reason why I say that is Windhorst was reporting this well before this even came out. So this wasn't like he said, the NBA is doing whatever they can to get the Pelicans in. And then as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, okay, they'd be included anyways. And then I saw that line about the 8 and 9 season. I was like, there it is. Windhorst was right. Brian Windhorst is a genius. That's all I'm saying. Conspiracy theory confirmed.
Also, though, but like, who would be the 8th seed they'd be superseding? Like, are we really that sad to see them go?
No, I'm not necessarily sad to see Memphis
Maybe
go.
Reverse conspiracy theory. Maybe it's a way to keep the Kings out of the playoffs.
They do have some trouble. The Kings do have some trouble right about now.
They're just uneducated. It's not a thing. They're just uneducated.
Kings have had trouble since 2002. Let's be honest.
Let's move into our next segment. Speaking of the
Thanks,
Kings,
Tim Donaghy.
let's talk a little. Maybe we'll kind of talk Kings in our next segment. Motherfucker of the week. All right.
I missed it.
I know it was.
So
I was
good.
so glad that we decided to bring this segment back just for the drop. That may be it. That's it. That's all the segment, everybody. That is Motherfucker of the Week.
Can we at least play it one more time?
Yeah, I just wanted an excuse to play it again, and I'll play it again after the segment. Anyways, Motherfucker of the Week. There were a lot of choices this week for Motherfucker of the Week. There were several.
Drew Brees, asshole.
Drew Brees came in strong at the end to potentially do it. Scott, tell us about the Kings announcer and his potential. He tried to throw his hat into Motherfucker of the Week recently.
I can't remember the name of the announcer. It eludes
Who
me.
cares?
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it
Don't give
doesn't
him any
really
pub.
matter. I was gonna say he specifically said I'm 60 years old and I have a lot of learning to do. So he's 60 years old, and if he's an announcer, there's a 99% chance he's white. So King's announcer during this whole rioting and Black Lives Matter everything, he came out and did the whole all lives matter. Well, he specifically said that after Boogie Cousins had basically set him up to say that.
Boogie, he rope-a-doped him. He totally
Yes.
rope-a-doped
Dude,
him.
dumbass got outsmarted by Boogie Cousins. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
so
Like, I don't mean to
once,
throw shade, but come on, Boogie Cousins.
no, there's no reason not to throw shade. I mean, Cousins has never been accused of being intelligent, but he outsmarted him on this one.
Damn, shitty.
But
calling us
basically,
out.
he just said that all lives matter, and then as soon as people started getting on him about it, he said, "Oh, whoa, wait, I didn't know that by saying all lives matter, it was going against the Black Lives Matter thing. My bad." And everybody from Cousins to former great King Chris Webber said, "No. We know you're racist. We've been telling the franchise for years, and this basically just outed you."
Dude, Boogie, he rope-a-doped this dude. He knew exactly what was going to happen by asking that question on Twitter and got exactly what he wanted. That's a strong contender for Motherfucker of the Week, especially with everything that's going on. Drew mentioned Drew Brees. Drew Brees.
Fuck you, Drew Brees.
Drew, explain
God damn it.
Explain your hatred for Drew Brees right now.
Look, man, I've loved that guy. I've held him close to my heart for many years because obviously we share a name,
A lot of Drews
very
on this
strong
show
name.
tonight.
But at the same time, like, dude, come on, like, Aaron Rodgers nailed it on the head. This shit ain't about nailing it, about no goddamn flag. It's about that stuff that it's not okay. This is not okay. Figure this shit out. Shut the fuck up if you can't figure out how to handle this correctly like a man in 2020. Treat people like they deserve to be treated and figure it out. Like, it's not hard. It really isn't hard. And just absolutely ridiculous to see someone who tries to put himself as such a pious, upstanding citizen within the league and society in general say some goddamn back-assed redneck stupid. Get your shit together. Come on. Not okay. None of this shit's okay. It's not going to fly. We're done. We're done. We're over with this. Like, fuck, man. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no other stance to take. I don't know. I don't know if that answers the question. Fuck you, Drew Brees. You an asshole. I'm gonna trade you on every single team I get now in Madden. I'm gonna cut your ass. And fix your goddamn mullet while you're at it, because you're a superficial piece of shit.
I feel stupid for my Motherfucker of the Week after that because I was very
this one's
impassioned.
solid too. Because fuck you, George Goodell or Roger Goodell.
No, George Goodell too. Screw George Goodell, but
fuck you too, George
also
Goodell.
Roger
I hope
Goodell.
you're a nice guy. Or I hope you're a bad person, because if you're a nice guy, I'm gonna feel bad about it. But all y'all, sorry,
Hashtag
I get
9
fired
point-
up about this.
Hashtag
George Goodell gets all
9.2%.
the hate mail.
George Goodell is such a douchebag, but so is Roger Goodell in the NFL because Dave
Piece of
Portnoy
ass.
from Barstool won the raffle. We talked about that a couple weeks on the show that they were doing during the draft. So Portnoy won the raffle, or he bid the highest. He was going to get to go watch a Monday Night Football game with Goodell. The NFL decided to do a background check and disqualified Dave Portnoy from being able to go to Goodell's house, saying he didn't pass a background check, citing all the times that he got caught trespassing at NFL headquarters when he was calling out Goodell for his being a terrible commissioner. They also talked about something I never knew it happened, but apparently Portnoy put up a blog on Barstool with Tom Brady's kid being naked. That's weird. I've never seen that, but they cited that as one of the reasons why he's not allowed to hang out with Raj. So instead,
is it the same one that he kissed awkwardly long, or is it a different?
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, man. This is just one newsman's opinion. I don't know. 250,000.
Trying to slide in that Epstein doc? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah,
don't you remember
segues,
when he
bro.
kissed his son in that documentary?
Yes. Yeah,
really
it got
long?
very weird.
No,
very weird.
I remember hearing about it and chose not to watch that part because
yeah, it's
unsubscribe.
If you put a timer on that, he's got the Guinness Book of World Record for kissing your son for an awkward amount of time.
On the lips.
Yes.
Also, shout out Brian Birkland chiming in saying, dudes, what it is. What's up, Brian? And should he getting to my point, yes. At this point, Dave Portnoy needs to be the one that buys the XFL as a chance to stick it to the NFL. But his $250,000 bid has been nullified. They won't take his money. Instead, the NFL is donating $250,000 to 6 different charities, and they are giving qualified frontline employee the chance to hang out with Roger Goodell. You know, a safe one who isn't gonna call out Goodell for being a complete douchebag. So there you go. That's a motherfucker of the week as well. The NFL and Roger Goodell this was a perfect opportunity for them to be like, okay,
to prove Roger's human.
Yeah, like, okay, let's invite this dude in, and this could be really funny. We could have a really good time with this. We can make this work. And instead, they shit down their leg like the NFL always does because they can't do anything.
They literally edited this thing too. You know what I mean?
They really could
This was
have
completely on brand for the NFL.
I was gonna say,
if it had gone any other way, that would be the shocking part.
Do you think part of this is because the software engineers are like, wait, hold on, guys, we can't keep Roger on screen for that long without a critical failure. We gotta punt. we gotta do something else, man.
They're like, did you see how awful it was in his basement during the draft? Oh, we can't keep that up.
I mean, dude had a printer. Who has printers these days?
I have a printer. It doesn't even work either. That's the worst part.
I think that's the better question: is who has a working printer?
Yeah.
To be fair, I think
Roger
y'all got kids. You got to print out those homework assignments and whatnot, right? And the cookie recipes too.
Cookie
'Cause
recipes
you got
are
to
very
make sure
important.
you got those on point, so they're not flat.
This
I'm
has
still
been
printing out my. Wait, nope, never mind.
Good save. This has been Motherfucker of the Week. All right, everybody, and we want to, before we get into our last segment here, be sure to head over to craftrootsports.com/shop. Rep the show. We got all kinds of gear available. Buy some shirts, buy some tank tops. It's summertime. Show off them guns from all them prison workouts you've been doing during COVID. Rep the show, craftrootsports.com/shop. Help us out. All the money that we make from that goes right back into the show. It helps get Scott microphones that actually work when he turns them on. All kinds of stuff that we can do with the money from that. So hit it up, craftrootsports.com/shop.
Who do you think's paying for all these exotic trips that I'm taking? I mean, I was outside Atlanta last week. Here I am at Kings Arena. Like, this isn't free, y'all.
Gas is pretty cheap right now, but still, it ain't free.
No, I'm on the private jet. I'm on the Craft Root Sports jet. So, I mean, who do you think is paying for this?
What the shit? What the hell? And I'm still paying for my own beer over here? What the hell, Mike? Get it together.
Drew, you got to be on the show for a little while longer before you hear about the private jet. Sorry, bro.
No, that's fair. That's why I'm getting my Tavor crates, about 48 deep. I can't wait for Friday.
Dude,
so excited.
They're going to hate you. The delivery guy's going to hate you. Hey, Drew, why don't you...
I'm sure he's already pissed.
We were talking about some of these games being played and these seasons coming back. Why don't you, Drew, take a look into the future? Why don't you let us know what we can expect? I wish I had a cool sound cue, but once again, I failed. Take us through what we can expect in the future.
No, Mike, it wasn't that you failed. It's just we were a little concerned about copyright infringement. We want to play that Back to the Future clip, because that's what it is. It's high tech, but kind of actually just making use of the tech we have right now. So this kind of kicked off the Deshaun Jackson saying something earlier this week about how if stadiums are empty, why not mic up players and let it be heard? You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's like a great idea. Like, so again, it's kind of something the XFL did, but like really lean into it, right? And give fans some of that experience. They can't be there. How do you connect with them? Do stuff like that. I think there's a lot of great options. Some realistic, some not quite so much. One that's really actually very cool that I'm excited about is some European teams are they're kind of around with the idea they're testing an app where you can have an app on your phone that's connected to the in-stadium speakers. And so you can watch your team play a soccer match, and as the game's going on, you can cheer, you can provide certain reactions that as all the fans kind of pipe them together, the sound will show up in the stadium.
Whoa,
right?
whoa, wait, hang on. So there's an app that
iOS only.
you talk into, and it pipes that noise into the stadium. That's a real thing. Like, that wasn't a joke that you would put into the rundown. That's a real thing that teams are doing.
Yes.
What the shit? Exactly.
And I'm sitting here thinking if the NFL was going to allow players to be mic'd up or whatever, and now that we've watched, the Jordan doc and they're starting to do these 30 for 30s on ESPN2 unedited, and then you can, go to another channel if you want the edited version. I need the NFL players mic'd up unedited so I can hear all the cursing, all the N words. I need all of it.
Oh, no. All right, hold on. I don't know about the whole mic'd up thing. I don't know about the editing. I'm assuming they'll have some sort of delay or whatever, right?
Right. No, I mean, if they had players mic'd up, there would certainly be a delay. But I'm saying they need to have the option where it's like, hey, turn over to another channel, or you just have them mic'd up and there's nothing edited.
Dude, you want to sell ESPN Plus subscriptions?
This is how
that's how you
teams
do it.
make up that lost revenue, right? Like, if you're not selling tickets, if I can pay $5 to hear Brian Kelly cuss out his offensive line, I would do it every day.
Absolutely.
Dude, if I could pay $5 a minute to cuss out Doug Flutie straight to his headset, I would open a new credit line. Let me tell you what right now.
Well, and then imagine
I would put a mortgage on Mike's house because I ain't got one, but I would do it.
Well, imagine that crucial moment when Michael Thomas drops a pass from Drew Brees and he's like, nigga, you got to catch that ball. Oh, shit, I'm mic'd up.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn it. Oh, now they know. They know for real.
Scott.
Like, oh, shit, there goes my brand. Can we cut that?
God, I hope everyone got the internet drop right there, but it's all good because, can we just see Michael Thomas punch Drew Brees in the face in that situation?
I just want to go back and watch Mike's reaction because I know he's just as uncomfortable.
He's
as
like, and the contest is over.
Drew, what other ideas do you have for the future of sports?
So there's that. So then there's also, so how a lot of the leagues, they already have sensors in the pads for the players, right? So football does it, hockey does it. I don't think basketball has a thing yet, but they may. Soccer has the little sports bra things, which are super cute, let me tell you. But one of the ideas is to make those actual heat maps or trackers, right? So if you want to, again, you can opt into a different channel or whatever. So, play by play, they go shotgun, 3 wide left or whatever, they hike the ball. You can actually watch tracers of the wide receivers run routes or the cornerbacks coverage and the way they're kind of zoned and stuff. So kind of bringing back the laser puck from the 90s.
The thing that everybody hated about hockey?
Yeah, right?
No. Hockey fans hated it.
That's a good point.
Personally was like,
it was awesome.
I'm like, this puck thing is pretty cool.
Amazing.
All of my hardcore hockey fans hated it so much.
Yeah, but I was like,
look, man, when it
is.
gets behind the boards, I know exactly where it is. It's pretty sweet.
And JB clearly doesn't know what he's talking about because it was nice. It needed a little fine tuning, but they killed it before it had a chance to really shine. Imagine this. Imagine a fly ball to the left field and you can't track the damn thing, but if it's got a tracker on it, you can easily see that, right?
Well, you don't really see the ball flight in a baseball game. Drew doesn't watch a whole lot of baseball. They basically just show the player standing underneath it. That ball is in play because the player just stands there and it's like, oh, that dude's got it.
Who cares? What if I want to watch it fly? It's like Golden Tee.
I need that.
The ball's not going
I need that in the actual stadium because I can't stand when somebody hits a routine pop fly to center field and everybody stands up like it's a goddamn home run.
People at baseball games are the
worst. It's like, dude, it's right there. This isn't sit down. Oh,
but even worse is I can't watch games with my brother on TV because he thinks he's at the game, and it's the same way. Be like, oh, that's gone. I'm like, no, it's
Right.
not. Like,
So
you can
They're
tell
no-
from the reaction on TV whether or not it's gone, but I mean, I can tell just from the sound of the bat most of the time.
Those
But what
people,
what if they put that
Ooh,
laser
look
technology
at
on
Scott,
the
so smart.
on the bat flips? There you go. So when the bat
Ooh.
flips, you see the rotation of it. That's what I
and let's
want.
And
we
the-
can you can see the flips.
and the color would be correlated to how hard they're going to get pegged the next time they're at bat, right?
Yeah, so
Advanced-
it'd always be super red.
advanced statistics to see how far the bat flip actually traveled.
Yes.
Ooh, I'd like that.
What's
Listen,
that
how
dude
many
that does the
rotations?
sports science things for ESPN?
Yes.
Have him break down.
I would love to
Oh,
see
I'm
that
pretty
as
sure
a
he got laid off.
category. I would love to see that as a category for the Hall of Fame voting, where they're like, Mike Trout's WAR is amazing. He's one of the greatest players, but his bat flip differential is terrible, and it's probably going to keep him from being a first balloter. That would be amazing.
God, I can't wait to live in that world, Mike. That'd be amazing. I will say. So I was at a family thing this weekend. This reminds me of a story that my cousin, whatever, in-law, who the hell cares? He told me about Harry Carey, right? So Harry Carey was old, and he could only see about 300 feet in front of him. And so I think he said the story was they were at a game in Old Busch Stadium where like center field was 415, right? And so someone came up to bat. They hit a long fly ball in the center field, and Harry Carey goes, "Oh man, he got a hold of that one. That's way out of here. Another home run. The Cubs can't keep the Cardinals down." And then like the play-by-play guy goes, "Oh, it's about to fly out in the center field." He goes, "Oh, and what a grab at the wall by so and so, robbed him of a one, and that's 2 down in the inning." And all I want to know is, why don't we have a channel where we can just hear Harry Carey's play-by-play over and over?
I
You
wouldn't.
know, on repeat.
I'd be okay hearing Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey for every baseball game ever. I'd be totally fine with that.
How do we mix those together too, though, right? Like make the best of both.
Right? They
You know
got
what I mean?
hologram Tupac. They should be able to bring Harry Carey back.
Not to mention the fact that how baseball really hasn't changed that much, and honestly, it's not that entertaining. So how can we repurpose Harry Carey's calls today?
Easily.
that's
All you
another
have to
thing,
do
right?
is to dub over the names, but all of the
Exactly.
calls could be exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Right.
Yeah.
You tag a call as fly out to left center shallow. Boom, Harry Carey. Oh, wow, he didn't quite get a hold of that one off the end of the bat and caught, and that's 2 down in the inning.
Drew, I think we just stumbled into Drew Fixes Baseball. We just
Again.
accidentally stumbled into the segment Drew Fixes Baseball, and there it is. Replace all calls with Harry Carey audio from previous games. Congratulations on once again fixing baseball, Drew.
Thank you. IBM Watson, holla at you, boy.
Scott, before we wrap up the show, we wanted to talk about what else is on since we don't have sports. You had thoughts on this Lance documentary. You had real thoughts.
Oh man, yeah. If anybody has seen the Lance Armstrong 30 for 30 that has played over the last 2 Sundays after our dearly departed Jordan finally wrapped up, they had to fill the void, and so they went with another narcissistic athlete who, at his prime, was also at the center of a lot of controversy. But the Lance thing was super interesting, mostly because it went exactly how I thought it would. But it was still crazy to hear all the breakdown of why he did it and how, I love these athletes. He reminded me so much of Bonds. It wasn't even funny. They could be the same exact person, just different sports, obviously. But they're so narcissistic, and they're just sitting there nope, wouldn't change a thing, and all this other stuff. I didn't learn anything new about Lance Armstrong as a person, but it was just the detail about the doping. I mean, the fact that he started basically from the jump, it wasn't even oh man, he's winning all these Tour de France's. He started just then. He started basically when he got into cycling. But it was kind of like baseball in the 90s where everybody was doing it. So it much reminded me of anybody who's upset about, Lance Armstrong. They have to have the same feeling about Bonds or vice versa. You can't feel differently about one or the other because they're almost the exact same person. For me, the idea that steroids, if everybody's doing them, it's no big deal, kind of, sort of. That was the main takeaway, was that, okay, so everybody was doing it. Why was why was it a big deal? Because Lance still had to ride the bike, just like Bonds still had to hit the home runs. And if there's mostly, especially everybody at the highest level doing it, like it was no real big deal.
That's
Barry ever did Sheryl Crow like that though. End of story.
And also,
No, that's the main difference. But there was one point that I chuckled, and I talked to my wife about it afterwards because she watched it with me, and it was like Lance asked the question, how come I've been put in this certain situation, and like he went through other countries where it's like individual people got like not picked on necessarily, but they're like vilified, and other people are still allowed to lead their life. And I'm like, Lance, it's just like with Barry Bonds and A-Rod and everything, where it's like, you were an asshole along the way.
right.
Like if there was any sort of humility or you were nicer while they're going on, because it's like Lance has always been known to be an asshole. Like,
Doesn't he still? I haven't watched the documentary. I haven't watched any of it because I was burnt out after 5 weeks of the Jordan doc. I needed to take a break from documentaries on Sunday night. So I will get to that eventually, since I have.
No, your
ESPN
wife
Plus.
needed to take a break from
That's
documentaries
also
on
that's a
Sunday night,
very
but that's
true
fair.
point.
He deserves it.
But doesn't Lance Armstrong still hate the dude that turned him in? Like he's still
Floyd Landis. Oh yeah, he still hates Floyd Landis.
So that's crazy to me that he's like, oh, why do these people not like me? At the same time, he's like, fuck Floyd Landis. It's like, dude, you can't be that guy and then at the same time be like, why me? Why do people still hate me?
Well,
See,
I was trying to figure out why he was, because I thought that they would get to it, a real reason that he hated Floyd Landis, but it basically just seemed like, he outed me. So because he
Right.
outed me, F that dude.
Yeah, I don't understand. I wish I had watched this already, only because there's something to the fact that, like, yes, Armstrong did these steroids, and yes, he cheated, but everybody was cheating. So is it really cheating at that point? And then at the same time, he did so much good outside of cycling, like that. It's almost like, I mean, yeah.
Did he though? Did he do good?
Yeah, he
Like,
raised
what's-
so
no,
much
no,
money
he
for
really
cancer
did.
research.
What was his charity like though? Like honestly, like what was the return on his charity's fundraising? Because I've heard stuff where it's not like it's
Well,
like
that I
what's her
don't
name?
know.
That fat ass from South Park where they called her out for not actually putting the money from charity to good
Oh,
use.
Sally Struthers.
There you go. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate the assist there.
Yes. We're taking it back to the season.
Yeah, I've
First
heard
season,
some
man.
where it's like, yeah, great. We're all wearing these Live Strong bands, but great. But how much is actually going to cancer research? Like,
No, that's
Well,
fair,
no,
and that
they
I
made
don't
a
know.
specific point during the documentary to say, and Lance flat out said, I mean, of course, take it with a grain of salt, but other people kind of backed it up, that he didn't take a single dime from that. Like all of the
yeah,
profits.
but what Nike take? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
again, I'm very
the sponsors
I'm very
making
cynical.
money
Like,
is a different
talk
story.
to me about
from
Jimmy V
him.
Week on ESPN, and we can get into it. You know what I mean? Like all that shit, the Make a Wish shit. Like, look, you can make kids' dreams come true, but you got to put on TV. You know what I mean? Like go out there and do good for them and give them an experience. But like, why do we need to see on SportsCenter on Sunday?
Well, sure. At the end of the day,
Man.
somebody's making money, but it's just, I don't know. And when it comes to Lance Armstrong, like, he got busted and it was kind of whatever. But like, I put him in the same category as Bonds, where it's just like, if you hate him as a person, that's fine. But hating them for like what they did in the sport, it's just like, it doesn't really bother me. Like,
Yeah.
again,
That's fair.
if
How
they
do
were
you-
complete
but how do you separate
outliers, it's
those two
fine.
in a sense, though? You know what I mean?
Because
that's
I mean, for
tough.
me, when it comes to Lance, like, and Bonds doesn't have this, but it's like the cancer thing was real. Like, I mean, he
Yeah, that's
inspired so
true.
many people, and
Absolutely.
like all that money that went towards. And there's testimonials from people that talked about how he changed their lives. And this one woman, who didn't realize, like, thought she wasn't going to be able to have kids because of Lance having kids. Like, she froze her eggs and was able to have 4 kids. Like, I mean, there's
And now she
legit
regrets
things.
it, but that's cool too.
Well, I mean, everybody
you gotta
regrets
pay
having
for
kids
all
once they
that.
have them, but
Yeah,
it's just like these
tax
life-altering
write-offs though.
stories where
He's
it's like,
got 4 tax write-offs now.
even if he cheated at riding a bike, like, I mean, how big of a crime is it really?
Well, and so that's the thing. So I do want to give respect where it's due, right? Like, so Lance won those Tour de France's, which is no small feat, because again, like you said, everyone was doing this shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's almost like he was the best at it, right? And even if it wasn't cheating, let's say that everyone, you found a new way to run wind sprints or whatever, right? And other teams didn't quite figure out how to do the same training method that was above the book or by the law. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's not the reason why I have a problem with Lance Armstrong. It's just that he was a fucking dick to people, kind of
Well,
like
and that's
Ryan
what
Braun.
it boils. That's what it boils
Yeah.
down to.
You know what I
It's
mean?
Like
Right. Like you're
ultimately,
cheating, and
that's
if
your
you
legacy.
right, and if you get caught cheating, even though everyone else was doing it, if you get caught cheating, like, dude, you got caught.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you got to admit, I got shit.
It's almost
But
like
he ruined so many other careers and lives trying to protect something that everyone knew is fake. And that's why I can't stand him. I can't stand Ryan Braun. Barry Bonds to a lesser extent. Like, still, like, come on, man. Like, dude, we saw you in the late 90s or whatever. And then we saw you when you hit the home run record. Like, that shit ain't normal. Like, bro, that was like 15 years later and you got swole as fuck. Like, that ain't real.
Dude,
You know, like, just stop lying to me. I ain't a dummy.
well, that's
and
and
that's where my line is.
You're completely justified in that. I think if he comes out when he gets caught and is like, listen, I messed up, but I also did it to keep up with everybody else who's doing it, there'd be some
Right.
respect in that. So you lose respect for somebody who denies it to the end and refuses to give and just continues to deny and deny and deny. And then finally comes clean and is like, why doesn't anybody like me? Cough, cough. Pete Rose. Anyways, let's get into last call.
Well played, sir.
Thank
Always comes back to me.
you. Brought to you by Tavor. If you guys are looking for some brews, hit up Tavor, download the app, use the code 258023 on the payments and credit screen. Get $10 off your second order. Stock up your beer fridge. It's the best way to socially distance purchasing your beer because you do it right from your phone. Beers sell out quick, so as soon as you get that notification, go hit it up because otherwise you end up like me, not being able to get a super delicious sounding beer that comes out today. Tavor,
But I got 4,
258.
so it worked out for me.
Thanks, Drew.
SOB.
258-023 for $10
Thanks,
off
Lance.
your second order. All right, fellas, this week we were drinking Stuffed by 903 Brewers in Sherman, Texas, 9.2% ABV brew. We were rating this on the Saved by the Bell scale from Screech to Kelly. Scott, I will go to you first. Where does this beer finish out on the Saved by the Bell scale?
I'm gonna go with Kelly, but I gotta say, this is one of the first beers that I'm ever giving a pass for really not living up to anything it claims to be. I mean, it's a stout. It's a good stout. There's a lot of chocolate flavors, so I guess that's where the brownie comes in. But I don't taste blueberry. I don't taste cheesecake. But it is a damn good beer. So I'm gonna go closer to Kelly than it is to Screech. But it doesn't really
name
if you're-
another
if you're
character,
wanting
Scott.
for those flavors,
Name another
then
character. Don't say near Kelly. Don't say Kelly adjacent. Name a character, damn it.
Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa Turtle.
Okay,
I don't even know her last name, so
fair
there, how about that? She was the black one.
Drew, on a scale from Screech to Kelly, where does this one fall?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a Lisa Kelly dream scenario. Like you get them both in the same package. It was amazing. I thought this was very solid. The blueberry wasn't there for me, but the cheesecake, I felt it was smooth. You know, it had a little bit of that hearty flavor to it. The chocolate clearly was there. The stout was there. This was solid. Absolutely crushable beer.
And you were right, man. Very solid. But because it doesn't deliver on everything, I'm gonna have to rate this one an AC Slater. Just like right middle of the road. You're gonna get some high points because you get some of that chocolate, but you're gonna get some low points too. You're gonna, you don't get everything. So it's one of those characters that's just like, you were all right, man.
This beer would definitely be wearing wife beaters for no reason.
Yes, and tights and dancing around as a ballerina at one point during the series.
Highly disagree on all these accounts, gentlemen.
No, it's just it's solid. It's a solid.
No, it's a really good,
but
like I said,
it's
though,
not.
Like the flavors just aren't there. That
It's not
to
killing
have.
it for me. It doesn't take it to the next level. It's like, you're there. You did okay. You were there, and I appreciate you. But if you weren't there and you were replaced with somebody else, I'd be okay with that.
This is the kid to LeBron James. Good game.
All right,
good
so
effort.
tune in for Craft Brewed After Dark so we can fight this shit out. Because the only thing it's missing is blueberry in my book, but apparently you guys
No
don't eat any
cheesecake flavor,
cheesecake
no
ever.
graham
gonna say,
cracker
the
flavor,
cheesecake is not there
nothing. It's
whatsoever.
chocolate.
Cheesecake's there in the
It's a
thick, rich
chocolate
texture.
stout.
What are you talking about?
It's a chocolate stout. There's no
I
blueberry.
didn't come for texture.
Nothing. It was chocolate stout.
Phrasing, boom.
If they had said, if they had called this stuffed brownie stout, 100% I'm all in. This is a Kelly Kapowski. But they had to throw in this blueberry.
because the
No,
brownies
it's
start
not.
into being bitter. You'd have some after notes of like almost a coffee flavor.
But you
mean,
would know
come
it's
on,
going to be
man.
a brownie and it's going to be a stout, and that's what I got in this one. This has been stuffed. Last call brought to you by Tavor. Again, use the code 258023 on the payments and credit screen for $10 off your second order. Fellas, this
Drew, you've been lawyered.
Suck dick. I hate you both.
Oh, that was a quick retort.
this has been
Also, it's 9.2%. How can you get mad at that, right?
I mean,
That's really
one of
why
the-
it's closer to Kelly than it's not.
Well, that's why I put it in Slater, because it's solid. Otherwise, it would have been Tory. It would have been
Well,
like
'cause I'm like-
completely
I'm sitting there thinking,
forgettable.
Tory.
last-
Who the hell is Tory?
Whoa, hang on. You don't know Tory? You don't even know Tory? Dude, Tory helped.
Dude, I'm looking at the original cast. Whatever.
Tory-
Say that right now. There's no goddamn Tory.
Tory replaced Jesse and Lisa. No, replaced Kelly and Lisa. No, it was Jesse
you're
and
going
Lisa.
late seasons?
Listen, Tori was a shit character, right? She was terrible. It was awful.
Wow, you were going to downgrade this to Tory level?
If it wasn't 9.2%, yeah. If this was like a 6%er, this would have been a Tory. Hot takes. Hot take barbecue. Guys, this has been a crazy show.
We might not have one after this. 'Cause we're really clearly clashing on this one right here.
I do want to say that I know we didn't dive into what's going on in the world right now, and we touched on it and dabbled on it. I don't feel like I'm a person that can speak on what's going on other than to say, God damn it, we just need to do better. So everybody just do your part to do better. That's all I want to say on everything that's happening right now. Be sure to follow the show.
Love yourself, love your neighbor, support the community. Just get down and just do it like that.
And
we're
also-
all humans, we're all Americans. Like, let's be honest to each other and be nice.
And also help black people out. Like let's start there. Let's just help black people out. Help us out. Follow us on Twitter at Crappy Sports and Instagram at Crappy Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you guys get your podcasts. Thank you guys for tuning in, for sharing out the show. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Look, I'm with Drew. Nigga, you got to catch that ball.
Oh, God.